Welcome back to the program. The fat lady is definitely not singing, but she is definitely warming up her vocal cords. Because what happened tonight, in Miami, Florida, should be a wake-up call to every single patriot, conservative, Republican, MAGA supporter, whatever. We are like hibernating bears. We are watching what's happening. The Trump administration is going out and doing what they're doing. And of course, they're deporting people and everything else. And we are not complaining. This is exactly what we voted for. But a lot of people that supported President Trump, even some Democrats and independents, well, they're shocked. Now, why are they shocked? I don't know. I don't know why they're shocked. He told you, I'm going to run the biggest deportation, in U.S. history. He wasn't hiding it. He wasn't like, I'm going to deport as many people as possible. He was telling everyone that would listen, every rally, we're going to deport all these criminal aliens from the country. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't support President Trump and then not support how he does things. Okay? It doesn't work that way. So that goes to conservatives, that goes to Republicans, that goes to independents, that goes to anyone that voted for President Trump. Because your impatience will lead us to communism. Okay? That's a new Bernstein saying. Impatience will lead us to communism. Now, if we look at what happened in Miami, it's not really a macrocosm. It's more of a microcosm still. Mainly because only 30,000 people voted. 30,000 out of 176,000 eligible. 30,000 voted. That's not a lot. So what does that mean? That means that Republicans were asleep at the switch, still high on their own supply, still kicking back, still enjoying the victory of 2024. Meanwhile, our opponents are wide awake, motivated, stealing elections, ballot harvesting, getting their friends, their family. They're doing anything and everything. Why? Because they are in the minority and they don't like it and they want to get back into the majority. The problem is that it's not normal politics. Democrats are not normal anymore. They're communists. So we have to fight against that. We have to make sure that we're not fast asleep here, okay? Because if we sleep a little bit longer, we're going to be in big, big trouble. Big trouble. Now, let's go through this here a little bit, okay? This was an ass kicking. I'm not going to lie this time. Not that I lied last time, but this was an ass kicking. Former Miami-Dade County Commissioner Eileen Higgins won Miami's mayoral runoff election Tuesday, marking the first time in more than 30 years that the city has elected a Democrat as mayor. Higgins won 59% of the vote, at least at this point. Not all the numbers are in. I think that's going to drop down about 15%, but still a pretty big ass kicking, okay? To Emilio Gonzalez's 41%. Now, how can a Cuban conservative lose the mayorship in Florida? I mean, it almost doesn't even make sense. So, if I was him, I wouldn't have conceded, number one. Number two, I would have wanted to see where the votes are, how many of them were mail-in ballots. I would request and pay for an audit and forensic audit of the votes and everything that went on, because I don't trust the Democrats. I never will trust the Democrats. We saw what they did in 2020. We saw what they did in 2022. And we saw what they tried to do in 2024. So they're not to be trusted here. It was not really a competitive race, pretty much at all. It was a runoff, of course. So let's see, what else does it say here? The campaign centered on issues such as immigration, housing, flooding, city growth, and the tone of leadership Miami needs. Well, that sounds like to me that the Democrat was able to set the narrative and the Republican was not. The tone, really? The tone of the race, of leadership that Miami needs? Higgins and Gonzalez faced off CBS News Miami debate, moderated by Jim DeFeed on November 25th, giving voters a chance to compare their visions for the city moving forward. While the race was officially nonpartisan, Higgins had the backing of prominent Democrats, while Republicans, including Governor Ron DeSantis and President Trump, endorsed Gonzalez. Out of 175,692 registered and eligible voters, 37,496 cast ballots. What is that? 20%? 18%? 19%? 21.3%. That's it. 21.3% of eligible voters went out and voted. So can we really look at this and say that this was a macrocosm of what's to come in 2026? Or was this just a microcosm in a race that clearly should have been won by Republicans? Clearly, President Trump won the state by 13 points, folks. 13 points. This used to be a swing state under Obama. Okay? That wasn't that long ago. 2008, 2012, whatever, right? Now, not at all. It is solidly Republican. So what does this mean? It means that we got our ass kicked. Let's face it. Let's, say what happened. And we got to learn from it. And we've got to wake the hell up. We cannot sit back and kick our feet up and let the Trump administration do everything that they're doing without any help from the Republicans in Congress, other than passing the big, beautiful bill and all that. They're supposed to lower interest rates tomorrow again. Powell's term is up, I think, in March or May. I think March, something like that. So he's going to be gone. The economy is going to be getting better. A lot of the provisions in the big, beautiful bill kick in January 1st of 2026. A lot of them. So you're going to see an influx of money. You're going to see an influx of capital and things like that, and lowering taxes, of course. And so that's going to help things out. But we're still in a state of stagnation. We're not in a depression. We're not in stagflation. We're not in any of that. But we're not moving. And one of the reasons we're not moving is because of Jerome Powell. Plain and simple. He's an asshole, and he is stalling and stalling and stalling. And as I said in the beginning of this segment, our impatience is going to lead to communism if we're not careful, okay? Because the people are no longer blaming Biden, which they should. They're no longer blaming the Auto Pen administration, which they should. They're no longer blaming anyone but President Trump and Republicans. That's just the way it works. It's unfair. It sucks balls. But it's reality, okay? Sadly, it's reality. So if that is reality in politics, in any election, in any year, it doesn't matter when it is, doesn't matter how great 8 wars, what it doesn't, 18 trillion, it does, what's in my wallet? Like the commercial, what's in your wallet? What's in your wallet? What do you have on the kitchen table? Are groceries still high? Are gas prices still high? Are all these things? That has to change. Because I'm telling you right now, if we go late, and I'm talking late, July, August, September of 2026, and we're not in the golden age, and we're not just gangbusters on this economy, we're fucked. I'm going to say it point blank, okay? Point blank. Now, here's the good news. We still have, 11 and a half months before the midterms? Plenty of time. How many things can happen in that amount of time? Too many to list, okay? We get rid of Powell. We get these rates down low. We get a new Federal Reserve chairman. You got the money coming in. You got manufacturing coming back. You got plants being built. You got all these things happening. You're gonna get the economy going. Probably April, May, June, Somewhere around there is my guess now because of the shutdown and everything else. And look, the other thing is, I hate to say it, he's got to win. He's got to win at the Supreme Court. The tariff, he has to win. Because a lot of what we're doing, a lot of the leverage that we have, a lot of the controlling of foreign countries ripping us off, that's all based on tariffs. All of it. So without that, we're done. I mean, there are other ways to get around it, but they're not as quick, number one, and they're certainly not as easy, number two. And this is where the insidious behavior of the left, in my opinion, is much superior than the right. Because they understood we have no power in Washington, we don't have the Senate, we don't have the House, we don't have the state legislatures. But what do we have? Well, we have these left-wing, radical, extreme judges that will do injunctions, stop this, stop that, stop this, stop that, stop this, stop that, stop this, stop that. They had that, and that's what they relied on. And even though it's not, quote-unquote, stopping us, it certainly is slowing us down. Because now we're taking time to fight back and, appeal these horribly bad judicial gnats and their crazy decisions. And they're not winning, but they're stalling. So if they're stalling, then they are kind of winning, aren't they? This is the insidious behavior of people that don't have power, that are finding ways to use the limited power they have to shut us down and to stop us. So we better pray that the Supreme Court does two things absolutely right. Number one, they've got to come through on the tariffs. And I don't see why they won't, but I don't know for sure. Okay? I don't know for sure. So he's got to win that. My hope is that with $18 trillion coming in, stopping all these wars, that there's just so much good stuff that came from these tariffs that the Supreme Court is going to be like, you know what? I don't know if I agree with it or not, but look at all this money. What kind of cluster F is this going to be in paying back all these countries that we took in all this money and revenue? I have a feeling it's going to be close. I'm hoping that it's going to be a pass and they're going to do the right thing, but I don't know. I can't call this one, I'll be honest. I can call almost all of them. I can't call this one. I'm cautiously optimistic they're going to do the right thing. But if they don't, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. And the other thing that they have to do, absolutely have to do, is they have to remove Section 2 and repeal it from the Voting Rights Act, which will make it illegal to allow Democrats to gerrymander ever again based on race. Those two decisions are going to basically determine our fate as a country. I hate to say it. I truly kind of believe that. Will we survive? I mean, yeah, we probably will. But if we lose Congress, and God forbid 2028, our impatience, I want you to understand this, our impatience, why aren't they in jail? Why aren't they being indicted? I'm not making excuses for them. Trust me, I'm not. But if we are impatient on the economy in particular, we're going to vote ourselves into communism. Let's hope to God that never happens. Those are my warnings. What are yours? Put them down in the comments below. We'll see you in the next one.